Here you go. Let's start off with this guy because we haven't given enough money to Ukraine. We really seriously haven't. Our pockets are bottomless and it's in full, bottomless and full, all at the same time. Why? Because they say that our economy is oh so good under Bidenomics. Bidenomics says we're doing super well because we're doing so well because he's reduced the deficit by so much, like trillions of dollars, that it's okay. It's okay to go and throw a billion here and a billion there towards Ukraine. No big deal. No big deal. Don't look into it. Don't pay attention to the circle of money and where it goes, where it comes from, and how it just so happens to circle back around into Joe Biden's back pocket. Don't look at any of that. Don't pay attention to any of that. Just pay your taxes, unlike his own son. Pay your taxes so that way we can continue to fund this ridiculousness of Ukraine for the next at least 4 years. At least. I'm going to call it now. I've called it before. We're going to get Barack Obama term 4, regardless if it's this guy or if it's his own wife, Big Mike. Another 4 years. Another 4 years of ridiculousness, of continuously raking more money into Ukraine. Says U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken visited Ukraine's capital Wednesday, where he's expected to announce more than $1 billion in new American funding to display Washington's unflagging support for Kyiv's fight. Blinken also aimed to assess Ukraine's 3-month-old counteroffensive and signal continued U.S. backing as some Western allies expressed worries of Kyiv's slow progress to drive out Russian forces after 18 months of war, according to U.S. officials. We want to make sure that the Ukraine has what it needs, not only to succeed in the counteroffensive, but has what it needs for long term, to make sure that it has a strong deterrent. We're also determined to continue to work with our partners as they build and rebuild a strong economy, a strong democracy. Blinken was set to pledge more than $1 billion in new U.S. funding. The senior State Department official said, speaking of the condition of anonymity, in order to discuss the announcement before it was made. The money would be a range of investments, an official said without elaborating. Other issues include supporting Ukraine's war-torn economy, where it be discussed building on Blinken's June announcement in London for $1.3 billion in aid to help Kyiv rebuild, with a focus on modernizing its energy network, which was bombarded by Russia last winter. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said that U.S. assistance to Ukraine can't influence the course of special military operations. Blinken arrived in Kyiv for an overnight visit hours after Russia launched a missile attack in the city. He was expected to meet with President Volodymyr Zelensky and other top officials to discuss the ongoing counteroffensive and reconstruction efforts. On a train journey to Kyiv, Blinken met with Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen. Also, the official visit to discuss the war. Blinken thanked her for Denmark's leadership in the coalition training of Ukrainian pilots for F-16s and for promising to donate the fighter jets to Ukraine, according to State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller. Washington officials said there were discussion of alternative export routes to Ukrainian grain following Russia's exit from the Black Sea Grain Initiative and its frequent bombardment of the port facilities in the Odessa region, from which most grain is transported abroad. Those alternatives may include new overland routes or ships hugging coastlines to keep international waters where they could be targeted by Russia's navy. The interesting is that there is actual word out there that Poland is still refusing. Poland's still refusing to do any of that. They don't want it. They don't care. It's not going to happen. Vicky T, good to see you. Glad you're here at the beginning of a show. Who doesn't like my salute emoticon, I guess. You're a mod. How? What? Huh? You should be able to put up whatever you want. I see it says, "Hey, Aaron," with the salute. Over here on the StreamYard side, not so much, but on the YouTube side, it definitely shows a salute. Those alternatives may include new overland routes. After arriving to Kyiv, Blinken laid a wreath at the city's Berkostov Cemetery to commemorate members of Ukrainian armed forces who lost their lives defending the country. Blinken told Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba that the U.S. has seen good progress in counteroffensive. It's very heartening. Blinken said that he was in Ukraine to reaffirm our commitment to stand with you, to help ensure that you succeed militarily in dealing with the aggression, but also to stand with you to make sure that your efforts to build a strong economy and a strong democracy succeed. I'm sick of the United States sending billions and billions and billions of dollars to this never-ending war. We stopped one never-ending war that lasted some 20 years in Afghanistan. Haphazardly, because there was an article here, but I'm like, we already kind of know this. I don't need to read the article. It was about how they're finally realizing that the military might that they left behind in Afghanistan is actually being utilized by the other side. by militants. Militants do have it in use, and they're using it against Ukraine. Fund both sides. Let's do that. Sounds so good.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.